Okay. So whoever who has created the org, you'll be able to see the screen, right? So I think you would have logged in after creating your org. Okay. So, right, what is this? This is our Salesforce org. Okay. So if you see the details, it will provide you like the details, like what are the details you have, like your login details and everything. Okay. Suppose if you type your name here, it will give you the user details. Okay. This is called as a setup, where this is our first step, where we need to check the permission sets. Okay. So this will be automatically assigned to you by your admin team whenever you are joining the company or in your org. Whenever you are creating, you will be the system administrator. System administrator means you will be having the full control over your org. Okay, but if you are joining for any company, so based on your role, there will be a profile set to your role. Okay, so based on your profile, you will be having access to like the entire setup. This is called as an org. So inside this org, you have all the cloud environments created here. Okay, even the development, everything will be created inside this org. We don't want even a single software to work on this. Okay, so everything is on cloud support. And one more thing is, whenever you have created the org, your permission set will be assigned to you. So what is the permission set you need to look for is, suppose if you are only a user, okay, so then you will be getting only the CRM analytics plus user. Here, if you edit the assignments, okay, normally we don't have permissions to edit, but since it is our own org, we will be having the permissions to edit this. Okay, so you can see this, right? This is the permission set will be assigned to us by default. But since we are the admin, right? So we get the CRM plus admin. So here, only if you are getting the CRM plus admin access, you will get access to the analytics environment. Otherwise, you will not get the access to the analytical environment. So whenever you are creating this org, you must need to check this, whether I got this permission set or no. Okay. So after that, you can type analytics. Okay. Once you type analytics, okay, you can click on the settings. Okay. So in the search bar, this is called as a quick search bar. Okay, here you will be getting the analytics. Okay, so here, yeah, so when you click on analytics right here, there will be an enable option for you to enable the analytics settings. Okay, since it is already enabled, it is not visible here. And this org is for ancient analytics. So uh, we need to check all these requirements, like what are the inputs we need. Suppose if we are connecting Amazon Snowflake, we need to enable this. If we are connecting this as an output connections, right? These are the main steps we need to, main parameters we need to follow here. Okay, to enable it. And we have ancient discovery also, since we have a CRM plus license. Ancient discovery is also enabled for us. Okay, so when you click on getting started right here, you can see this. Since we have enabled it already, you can see how many data sets are there in our environment and what is the total rows are there, and we can launch the CRM analytics. Okay, so once you check all these things, okay, so you have any doubts here on this? So I think Srinath.
Yeah, Anand, can I go a little slower because it was like
Okay.
fast for me. I don't know about others. Sorry about that.
Okay, so shall I repeat it like once more time?
Uh,
Yeah.
it's okay. I can catch up. But going forward, if possible.
Okay, okay. This is just basics, right? So I went very fast. Okay. So if you recur, I will repeat it once again. Okay. So first of all, right, to check the permissions. First here, when we log in, we need to check our role and profiles here. Okay. So that is the main part when we log in here. And after that, we need to check on the permission set. So ideally, we should have this permission set CRM analytics plus admin or user. Only then we'll have we can use this environment for the development, right? Otherwise, we'll be not able to develop it. Okay. And these are all the main permission set is required. Okay. And above you can see this is a search bar and this is a quick find bar. Okay, what is the difference between search bar is here we can search any people, name, roles, all those stuffs. But if we want to search anything related to analytics, users or roles and their settings, right? Then we need to use this quick find bar. This search is for a global search, and this one will be to quick find. I think all the metadata informations, anything which we need to search it here. Okay, I'm just clicking on analytics here. So when you click on analytics, see, we have analytics settings and we have getting started and we have this report and dashboard and discovery and all these items here. So, so first we will look about these two things. Okay, what is getting started and what is settings? Okay, getting started is normally in any org. Initially, it won't be enabled analytics because it is a plus license, right? It is a paid version. So what we need to do is we need to enable the analytics. When we enable the analytics per user per license, Salesforce will charge from us. Okay, based on that charge, they will be providing us the environment for any company org. Okay, and once we enable this, it will show all the related informations here. And when we go to the settings, you can find lot of parameters here. Okay, but all the basic parameters will be already enabled to us by default. But if we need, okay, extra parameters and extra items to support our project, what we need to do is we need to enable each and every item depend on the requirements which we get. Okay, for us to start the session, already these items have been enabled by default by Salesforce. Okay, since they already know what we are trying to get out of this session because this is a training org, right? So they know already what to do about this session. Okay, so after this, when you click on this 9 dots, right, on the left side, like our phone, we have a Analytics Studio app here. Just you need to click here. Okay, so once you click, just by clicking it, it's it's just an API call. But if you see, all these environments has been created inside our org itself. We don't need a separate login to log into different login and log out to the different environment which we are using. It's ideally a different environment, but it is integrated with the Salesforce. Okay. So when you come here, you have a home screen, a browse coverage. This will be our home screen. Always it will be loaded whenever we enter into Analytics Studio. So what it does is it gives the overview of what we created till now. When we click on browse, it shows us like what we created till now, what are the all items, what is app, what is dashboard, what is component, what is lens, what is stories, what is data sets, and what is templates. Okay, all these things it will be listing out here. Likewise, you have some additional features also, like notifications, subscriptions, watch list, collections, learning center, data manager, template gallery. Okay, this is one important session. Okay, this browse page is very important for us. We need to know what is this browse page is all about. Okay, first we need to know about this, and then we need to know about this data manager. What is data manager? Okay, so um, if you are okay with the screen, right, just know about this, what is what. We will go in depth in future anyway. So I'm clicking on this data manager now. Okay, so this is the new version of data manager, how it loads. Okay. Hmm. So first of all, before entering to here, this is our main page, which shows us all the dashboard which we created, lenses, data sets, stories, and apps which we have created, and templates. Everything will be shown in the screen. Okay, but what is this data manager? It's ideally to bring the data from different sources, or to integrate the data, or to create the data sets, or to monitor the jobs which we have already created, right? For all those things, we'll be using this jobs monitor. Okay. Monitor is nothing but just it will show us like what are the jobs which is been running, failed, and which is having the warning, and which has been queued. All this information will be stored here. Okay. Since it is our new org, we don't have anything. And this data assets is called most of the data sets which we have created, right? All those things will be appearing here. Okay. And this is usage. What are the data sets which we have used, and what is the output to the Salesforce and output to the CSV, and how much has been, what is the usage which we are doing regularly in the data sets. All this information will be provided here. Okay. And since it is our trial log, you can see, right? A maximum is 0.1 GB per day, and minimum is, and for this output CSV, maximum is 50 GB per day. Okay. Everything will be minimum since it is our trial log. But if you go to your own org, like if you pay the licenses, this might increase based on our license cost. Okay. And this is recipe. And this is one more important concept. There are two things in the data manager. Okay, one is recipe, and another one is data flow. These are the two items which is normally used to create the data sets. Okay, whenever we want to create the data sets, all the ETL transformations are being done through recipes and data flows. So this is one important concept which we need to look for. And if you go for connections, like I said, we have a various connections here. Like we can connect to any data source, right? Maximum any of the data source we can connect. If you see, we have a Salesforce. If you want to connect to direct Salesforce, we have a Redshift. We have a Salesforce external connector. This help us to connect to any other connections which we are trying to use, right? Any other org, right? There might be many org developer, and even in your company, there might be a different org they will be using. If you want to connect, we can use this. And this is Salesforce Marketing Cloud, and this is Heroku, the source, and this is Microsoft Dynamics, likewise BigQuery, right? This is Azure SQL database connector, and this is Azure Snapshot Analytics connector, and Azure ODS. Like that, we have multiple connections which has been established already. We can use all these connectors to create our own input data type here. Okay, all maximum all the cloud systems we have a connection already. Okay, and we have a live connectors also. Live connectors means like if you are using a Google BigQuery or a Snowflake direct connector, we can get the data live here using the live connections. It means whatever changes which has been done in this particular database, all these connections, all these data will be populated into our environment directly whenever there is a changes, right? All these things will happen. And this is Salesforce Direct. This is all about connection. Okay. So now I'm just clicking on this manage data flows. This is same, which is going to tell us like in a separate way, like it's just a monitor which is going to give us like what are the jobs are running. This is the new version and this is the old version. There is no much difference here. And here we have recipes and data flows. To create a recipes and data flows, what we need to do. Okay. And this is about the data. Like I said, what are the data sets we have created already that will be appearing here. And this is live data set and this is connected data. And when we go to connect here, right? Like I said, there are multiple connections we can connect here, right? One is input connections. Input connections are, we have these many connections. Likewise, we can use MuleSoft also to connect. Okay. Uh, The we can use this MuleSoft connections which is already enabled. Okay. If you want to connect Oracle, SQL Server, or MySQL, these are the traditional SQL concepts which we have, right? uh, Most of the companies will be using this. So to connect this, we can use this, and this is the live connection. Okay. So, uh, today what we will say is like, see, we have all these things, right? The first part here is how to connect the data which we are looking from the source. Okay, what is our source, main source? How to identify our source, right? So some companies might get the data. For example, in my previous projects, I was getting the data from Azure, right? So while doing that, what I did is while I will go to the connect to the data, and here I can see the Azure connection here. Okay, by default, we'll be having it. It has been Salesforce already provided it. Okay, so just what I need to do is from here, I need to just select Azure. Okay. See, I need to just give the database which in the connection name, any name I can give, and the developer name also. It's I can give the naming convention accordingly. So it will be listed here like this. Like, see how we are getting SFDC local. Like that will be and description, and what is the JDBC URL. These all things will be available in the Azure platform. When we go to the properties of the Azure settings, we will get all these informations of our database. Just I need to give all these parameters and just save and test. That's it. My I can get access to all the databases there from there. Okay, this is how the connection works. Okay, and what is the use of connections, right? Here this is called as a replications also. Okay, whenever we are connecting to the any different connections, there is 2 to 3 ways to connect it. Okay, first of all, if I'm connecting to SFDC local, right, it is not been scheduled. Okay, and what is called as a replication. I'm connecting to one data source. For example, I'm think that I'm connecting to an account. I need the account to be updated on daily basis. Okay, so I am added this in this particular connection. So how to schedule it? And I don't want to run it on daily basis, right? But the system will run it on daily basis for me, and how to run it, right? All these things will be available here. Okay, I can click on just schedule, but how to bring this object, right? Which is that is more important. That is the first step. Since it is a Salesforce org, few of the objects has been already brought in by us. Okay, suppose say connect to data, and my input connection where I need to get the data is SFDC local. SFDC local is nothing but it is having like how it has own analytics, it has its own database, okay, which to store the records. It have a capacity to load large number of records, but it is if you know SQL, right, it is not the same. Like it use the relationship concept between each other. It doesn't use primary key or foreign key. It is always done through lookup or through relationship, parent child relationship. Okay, so if you see the when I go to the settings, there is one option called object manager. I can click on the object manager. So when I click on the object manager, right, you will be able to uh, get all the list of objects which is being used in our org, right? All these objects has been used in our org, and we have data to it already. Okay, some sample data has been created to it, right? How this data has been populating, because Salesforce is already a CRM, it has a front-end environment also to populate the data to each other. Okay. Okay. So, I think I think people who's not speaking can go on mute, please. You can. Hello.
Anand, I think you can mute all.
Yeah, I need to check one by one, right? The mute out option is not there. Mute out. Oh yeah, okay, we have. Yeah, thanks, Cooking. Yeah, there is an object manager, right? This object manager provides us all the information from where all this. So don't worry about the how this data is created, because it is a separate CRM application. When we want to learn about Salesforce, right? It is a separate process, but you know what it is, right? Because these objects are already available in our environment. We need to use all these objects, right? And get a report out of it. That will be one our part, because front end development is taken care of by SFDC developers, right? So we don't want to worry about it. We need to know what is what why this object is used, and how we it is interrelated with the other objects. Okay, that I will tell you when going into it. We'll be anyway seeing each and every session, data manager session, how to create and how to create a connection and how to create a recipe and everything. Okay, for example, when connecting to the data, right, I will tell you like today, to create a connection. Okay, first we'll understand how to create a simple connection. Okay, there are many input connection, but forget about it. If we know to connect one particular connection, everything is same, nothing is difficult. It is just the same, connecting all the environments. Okay, so what we need to do is just click on this SFDC local. So what happens, it just take all the objects from our environment, and it provide the details to us. If you can see what are the objects which we have seen here, it will be populated here, right? For example, if I wanted to take any objects which is not there, right? If it is already added to our environment, we cannot add it because it will be showing us the blank definition for us. Okay, I will check one particular object which we might use in the future. I will try to add it here. Okay, if it is not there, if it is added, I will be adding any object so that you will know like how to add. That's it. Mm, okay. The basic objects are already added. Okay, let me check about check any other object which I can add. For account is added. Opportunity is added, I guess. Yeah, it is also added. Okay, forget about it. Let me add any object here. So contract. Okay. See, suppose we have a contract and I need to add this. Okay. So I'm just clicking on continue. And these are all the fields which are been available to me to add. Okay. If I need to add a field, I need to add one by one. This is because when we click on select all by adding the fields, right? Since we are going to store the data in the cloud, we might cross our GP data. Okay. So always it is good to add like whatever data we need, whatever field we need for reporting, only those columns uh, we can add. Okay, other than that, we don't want to add any other thing. Okay, so if you see here, it will show the preview of the data is already available, but the data's preview is not available here. So what we can do is just click on save. That's it. Okay, so it will be saved here. You can see the contract which has been added here. Okay, and why this section is saying not enabled, because we haven't enabled any of the objects. We just added, but we haven't run any of the session. Okay, but if I want to run the account, okay, account might have some data because it will be automatically created by Salesforce. That's why I'm trying to add some data to account. Okay, for example, here you have all these columns and all these values, whichever values is available, it will be added. And all our measure sections, right? Yesterday I was explaining you about measures and dimensions, right? So here, what is the measure section and what is the dimension section? This is main thing you need to understand, right? So here, wherever we are having text fields, right? Most of the text fields will be added here as a text values, and we can, if we want to add, we want to change the field label for each field, we can do that also. Likewise, if for all the measures, you will be having the numeric values. This is the only difference, right? And if you have a date column, suppose if you have a date column, what it happens, date is also considered as a date field here, but the format for the date is totally different from other org, right? It is already handled with time and seconds. This is the format we have for the date here. That is totally different. When we create the dashboard, you will come to know why it is, because all the date calculations can be done easily in the instant analytics. To handle that, we are having this kind of formatting here. Okay, so just click on save. Okay, and like I said, what is replication, right? So when you click here, you can click on the run data sync. But before knowing that, you can disconnect also and edit connection mode. These three things we can do. But before doing that, you need to know what is replication, right? When you go to schedule, we can schedule on daily basis, hourly basis, and even the minute. Okay, how after how much minutes it need to run, and monthly also. If our transaction is monthly, if we need to run it on monthly, then we can schedule that. But as of now, I've scheduled it for only one day, which is on Monday, 12 a.m. And time zone also will be shown here. By default, this is the time zone which has been given to us. Okay, for instant analytics, we cannot change the time zone. There is only two time zone which has been enabled for us, which is GMT and this one, right? But if you want to change it, there is an option to change it. Okay, but it should be dependent on our org and dependent on our project to change the time zones. Okay, like I said initially, we have a lot of parameters where we can change the time zone. Is like we need to go to analytics settings in the quick find. When we go there, we can change the time zone. Okay, it depends on our project. Okay, but this is the default time zone which you will see in any org. If you log in, even your in your project, you will be seeing only this time zone. Okay, and you can see uh like I have scheduled it. Okay, but what you need to know what is replication first. Okay, I'm just clicking on run data sync. Here there is a concept called run incremental sync and run full sync. Okay, when you click on run incremental sync, right, you can see here some objects are set to full sync and some objects have been set to incremental sync. Okay, so what is incremental sync, right? For example, in your object, you have a data already created till yesterday, but it is going to run today. So what it is going to happen is it will run only the today's record. It will not run till the yesterday's record, right? And the run also will be faster. Suppose if you're having billions of record in account, then if you want to run the billions of record, you need to wait till 4 to 5 hours to complete those run, right? But if you do the incremental sync, it will consider only the today's record and it will run that. Okay. So how it will do is it will always maintain the Salesforce will always maintain an ID for each data sets created. Okay. So based on that data set which has been run yesterday, based on that ID, whatever ID is not available, only those ID values will be run on the incremental sync. Okay. But there is one problem in the incremental sync. For example, there is an account object which has been created already. Okay. And if you go to the account object manager here, if any new additional fields has been added here or any for any field, there will be a formula also here. There can be a formula field here. Okay. But the formula has been changed. Okay. It means what happened for the old values which we have already created as a data set, right? In those scenarios, the values, right, will not change. We will be showing the wrong values. During that time, what we need to do is we need to run a full data sync to establish that connection. And we need to establish this connection and to load the old values, we need to run one full sync when we are whenever the formula is being changed. During that time, it will be changed. Okay. Okay, that is how we are going to do this. Okay, and here we have the edit connection mode. Okay, what is the incremental sync? Like I said, some are set to incremental and some are set to full. Okay, in this connection mode, there is an incremental sync, there is a periodic full sync, and there is a full sync. Because always we cannot go to full sync also. There is a problem when we go for always full sync. What happens is our what happens is like when we go to full sync, always our run will be very it will be running for very high time, and we'll be not able to uh, sync the records in time because we are not going to run either one recipe or one data flow in a particular time. We might need to run 40 to 50 jobs in a moderate project, but if you are going to any big project, we might need to run 150 to 200 jobs on daily basis, right? So ideally we need to manage our time, and we need to reduce our time run time to very minimum. That is our best practice always. So that's why I said in the initially while selecting the fields, be careful of what are the fields is required for our connections, right? Because since we are running in a cloud environment, we are not running in our own org, right? Even though it is our own org, this will be running in the cloud. Okay, so we will be able to partition and we can run it, but we need to manage our runtime and everything. Okay, so that is why these three connections are given. So what is the difference? I did not explain about periodic full sync. Okay, so like I explained, any one of you can just try what it can be, why we are using periodic full sync and where it can be used. Any one of you can tell, or you can, it will be good, right? You can be interactive. You can keep the session interactive. I know I'm going very fast, but yeah, yeah, you can give your feedback also in this, right? Any one of you can just try what it can be, periodic full sync. Okay, then I will call the names. Okay.
So Anand, oh sorry,
Yeah. Who's this?
my guess would be that it would be on a schedule-based synchronization.
Yeah, it's based on schedule only, right? But that is same for others also, no? Okay. But anyway, good try, Srinath. But what I will tell is periodic full sync is same like incremental sync. Okay. Every day the object will sync incrementally. But every Friday or a Saturday, whenever our other jobs load is less, right? During that, it will run a full sync and keep the data set updated, right? Keep our sync updated during that particular period only. But if you see Monday to Friday, it will run only incremental sync. Okay, got it?
So how it is identified, not like so Monday, Saturday, as you said, right?
Yeah,
Monday,
we have the option to enable it, right? Every for example, Salesforce run it every Friday in the Salesforce, right? Whenever we enable the periodic sync, they by default every Friday night it will run the periodic sync. It means the GMT timings, right? It has been already programmed in a such a way when we enable the periodic sync. Depends on your org, right?
Mhm.
But what is the benefit of this is while enabling the periodic sync, it runs like an incremental sync every day, but it is not going to take much time to complete. But weekly once, what it will do is it will enable the periodic sync. Because of that, even though our formulas or any values has been changed in our backend, it will be captured through the periodic sync. Okay, these are the main things I would like to cover today. Okay, but we haven't entered, like we haven't created anything, like we haven't created any connections, informations, everything. But this is just a overview session, right? So what it does is it will give you the idea about what we are trying to do. And the day progresses tomorrow, right? We will start with the first step for us is to how to create the data set. And from the data set, how we are going to create the lenses or dashboards, like how we are going to create a recipe. We are going to see about each and every part one by one. Okay, so for today, what I will say is this should be fine. So if you have some time, create the org, and you can go over the you can browse this session and you can see what is data set and what is all those stuffs which I have been told today, right? And how to create a connection and what is an object manager and what is the permission set we need to log in, right? All those details you should know by tomorrow. So it will be easy for us when we go to the next session, right? So if you have any questions, you can ask me. Yeah. I think I did not share the recording of yesterday, and today I will share it today. Okay. So do you have any questions on today's session?
Can you explain me that like object manager, like how that objects are you just to demonstrate, right? Like
Yeah.
object how you can create.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
all are
Yeah.
yeah, all are inbuilt object, what basis that objects are created?
See
Like I
this.
see that account and the contract, you created contract, right?
Yeah,
So,
I no, I haven't created. I just took it from here. This is the object manager. We have contract already here. If you see, the contract is already present here. From here, I have just established the connection and I've brought the contact from here, from there to here, from object manager to here. Okay. This is like a database, right? This is like a database, but a cloud database.
so suppose I want to connect Redshift. Redshift. So as you
Mm.
said, as you demonstrate, right? We have
Mm,
Azure and Redshift. So many
mm,
things are there. So
yeah.
I'm going to connect the Redshift. So
Yeah.
Redshift have the some default column, right? Some
Mm,
column is there,
mm,
right?
mm,
So if I connect automatically, it will pull from the Redshift or where
yeah,
the object will be defined.
correct.
It is
See,
from the Redshift or
yeah, correct.
Salesforce.
Yeah. Actually, your object will be present in Redshift. Okay, I'm just going to give the connection name here. Okay, what is going to be the connection? Okay, suppose if I'm connecting the Redshift, okay, Redshift for dev. Okay, suppose it's a dev work. I will give the developer name. Okay, what should be the developer name is the easily identified name. Okay, where we are going to connect the Redshift. Okay, and I'm going to give the connecting. Okay, so we need to give the username, password, the schema, and these details will be definitely available in the Redshift. Okay, all these details when we go to the properties of the Redshift will be available, and this is the details we need to give. Okay, if we are going to give the JDBC URL and the bucket name, all these things will be definitely available in the properties of your Redshift database. So when we give this and click on share, save and test, it will connect to that particular database, and all your objects or tables which are available in the Redshift will be listed here. You need to select which object you need and which field you need, and you need to run. You need to save. Okay, once you save, like how we are getting the details here, like that, you will be getting the one more connection information below this, and inside that you will be getting the details of the Redshift table, what you are getting, right? So that details will be available below. So you can sync that and use it. The table will be always available in your Redshift. If you delete the table, then we cannot, if you delete or whatever changes we are doing to the table, it will bring those changes here. But what is the main problem is it just syncs the table with your Redshift, but it is not the actual table which we are going to have it here. We are just referencing the table. Mm. Am I able to answer your question?
Yes, Anand. I
Yeah,
got your point.
one thing we will do, like, see, now think this as a separate environment. If it is not our environment, what it is trying to do is, it is trying to fetch the tables which is available and trying to load it here. Why we are loading it here is because this is an another environment which stores the data and data sets which we can use to create the database, right? So since it is an SFDC org, I think you are not able to relate, but I will show you one connections which is connected to the Snowflake, and I will create a Snowflake template in our process, right? I will create one Snowflake database and I will connect it here, and I will show you how it is working in Snowflake and how it is working here, right? So it will be more clear, right? At least one database you can connect from outside org and you can get the details from there to here. So that is same for every database. There is no such much difference. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Tiago, you wanted to speak something?
Yeah, okay. So to answer his question more clear, Salesforce is a CRM application, so it's have its own database. So that is what Anand showed at the object manager, which is its local objects. So Salesforce have a SaaS application, basically software as service, which is runs in the cloud environment. And yeah, okay, Anand, can you go to object manager? So you can see that custom object, standard object, and everything. So the standard object and everything is stored in Sales Cloud itself, which is Salesforce environment. We used to say org. Okay, you guys familiar with environments like production development like that? So here we used to call as an org. So this is a development org. You can see the URL on the top, DEV. So in that, yeah. So for production and UAT, it will change like UAT like that. Okay. And this standard object, if you see that asset, account, those are all standard object to run a CRM application. Okay. So this is already available in the Sales Cloud, and we are going to pull that information from CRM application to our analytics space. Basically, our TCRM or CRM analytics is running on top of the primary application of Sales Cloud. You got it?
Yes, Tiago. So if suppose I want to add one more, like a customized object, right? So
Yeah. So you can
So-
see the custom object also over there in the second one. See, it's already there, right? Acquired account underscore C. That is custom object, which is created in Sales Cloud itself. When you are looking for any other external connection apart from Sales Cloud, in that case, you will pull information. For example, if you are having any data in your Azure data warehouse or S3 bucket, you need to make a connection first. You need to establish a connection and pull that information, the metadata information, basically only the skeleton from there to your analytics space, which is CRM analytics space. So first you need to establish the connection to connect the database, then pull those whatever table you want. And in that table, you already store your records information, right? The data. So each and every field, whatever you want to pull it, you can make the connection established and pull the data. Finally, it will appear in your TCRM space. So that is what Anand explained in the first itself. He connected with the Sales Cloud, the local SFDC local connection, because TCRM will run on top of Sales Cloud application only. It's not a standalone application. It dependent on the Sales Cloud ecosystem. For example, if you have a MacBook, you need to set up a iCloud, right, to sync up all the options, right? So basically, your iCloud will be sync in all the places, your iPhone, your Apple product, any Apple product. So that is an Apple ecosystem, right? Like that, it's a Sales Cloud ecosystem. So whatever the object, it's already available here. That will go rely on the less FDC local. And if it is any external database or external data you want to pull it, then you need to establish that connection corresponding to your data source system. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yes,
sounds good. Yeah, clear.
Okay.
Okay, I think this is just an introduction session, but I think when we start working, right, you will get more answers. But I'm not going into CRM part. Why? Because this is just planning to complete the instant analytics part. So try to understand, like, there is one more application. Just we'll keep it simple. There is one more application which brings us the data, and we are just going to use that data for our application. That's it. Okay. So if you need the CRM session, let me know. I will plan for that session also. If you need like, what is what and how it has been created on all those stuff. If anyone need that session to understand this, or is it clear? Hello?
Yep. I'm good.
Hello, anyone of you? Okay, if you are not able to speak, just put it on chat or put it on group if you need an one more session. But this is about the today's session. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Okay, if you have any questions, or else you can ping on the group also if you have any questions. But try to log in today, because from tomorrow it is going to be a real-time session where we are going to create some real-time databases, data sets, and not databases, data sets and recipes and data flows we are going to create. I might give you other tasks. For that you need an org to create it. Okay.
Sure, Anand. Got it.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you for the session today. I will share the recording once after the session. Okay. I did not share the yesterday's. I will share yesterday's and today's by today evening. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, team.
Thank you.